In this video, we have quite possibly the coolest thing that has ever come through my shop. Stay tuned.
Bry's Comics.
Welcome to Bry's Comics. We always do a monthly giveaway on my YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and like this video, you're entered to win Moon Knight #1. Is it Wednesday yet? Do we have the next episode of Moon Knight? Leave a note in the comments. Are you guys enjoying this show as much as I am? And we also have a giveaway over at my website. If you sign up for the newsletter, we're giving away a Fantastic Four Silver Age graded key. And so before we jump into this really cool collectible here, we have my first ever Bry box of mystery available now at bryscomics.com. It's $150 and each box is valued at $200 or more. It's a modern spec mystery box. Each box is guaranteed to have 1 slab and 5 to 10 raw books. And the grand prize is Invincible Iron Man 9, the variant, a slab valued at over $1,000. And there's going to be several boxes that are worth $300 or $400, but every single box is worth at least $200 fair market value based off of recent sales and recent values. So all the details are there at my website. You can check it out and see an example of what's in each box. But it's going to be, at least 1 slab and 5 to 10 raw books. So it could be a really nice slab and then 10 issues, like a reader run of 10 issues, or it can be a less nice slab and 5 really good premium back issues. It just depends. Every box is going to be unique and different. So if you buy multiples, they won't all be the same thing. And we'll see how this goes. I have a bunch of different ideas for mystery boxes, like this, like a modern spec. Maybe I can do an all slab mystery box, play with the prices, play with the grand prizes, things like that. So we'll see how this goes. And sales are live now over at bryscomics.com. So now we have quite possibly the coolest thing to ever come through my shop. We're talking about the 3rd wrap of Captain America Comics #1, the first appearance and origin of Captain America and Steve Rogers and Bucky. It's a Hitler cover. Obviously, we don't have the actual cover here, and it's also the first appearance of the Red Skull. Just an incredibly, incredibly important piece of comic book history. As you guys may have seen, CGC 9.4 white page copy of Captain America Comics #1 sold for over $3 million, obliterating any past sales. And in a minute here, we're going to jump into the computer and look at sales for this book, talk about pricing of this page, talk about, everything around this. But before we get into that, I want to actually read the page, because this is quite possibly the most important page from Captain America Comics #1. Captain America Comics #1 is one of the most important comics in history. That's undeniable. I mean, it's probably top 5 as far as the most important comic books in history. And this is one of the most important pages from that comic. So let's read the actual page here. We're on page 5. This is right after Steve Rogers was injected with the super soldier serum. And we have the doctor there saying, "Observe this young man closely. Today he volunteered for Army service and was refused because of his unfit condition. His chance to serve his country seemed gone. Little does he realize that the serum coursing through his blood is rapidly building his body and brain tissues until his stature and intelligence increased to an amazing degree." That's interesting. I didn't know that he also was superiorly intelligent after receiving the super soldier serum. The people in the observation room gape in wonder at the scene before them. Why look, he's changing. It works. It works. It is working. There's power surging through those growing muscles. Millions of cells forming at incredible speed. Behold, the crowning achievement of all my years of hard work, the first of a corps of super agents whose mental and physical ability will make them a terror to spies and saboteurs. We shall call you Captain America, son, because like you, America shall gain the strength and the will to safeguard our shores. But the hand of democracy's enemy reaches deep into the ranks of America's high officials. One of the army men witnessing the demonstration is in the pay of Hitler's Gestapo. I'm afraid this is one experiment that must never reach its final test. And then it continues on to the other pages for the story that we all know, that we've seen played out on screen, the history of Captain America. And so on the back page here, since it's the entire wrap, it's like page 40 or something. So Captain America Comics #1 is a really thick book. And so this is the full wrap. So we have page 5 and then like page 45, the wrap on the other side. The page 40 or whatever this is of the backup story, it covers up the backside, which is page 6 of the story. And so one of the things that I wonder is, would it be more valuable or at least more desirable to own to separate this back page and just have page 5 and 6? Because on the other side, we see Captain America, fighting this individual here. I mean, it's just more of the story that you can actually enjoy. And so I don't really know. I don't know if it would be more valuable to actually separate this page, maybe have that page graded as well so that you can see both, or if it's more valuable because it's a full wrap and it's more of a full piece of the actual comic. I think it would depend on the final owner of this book. This is such a niche thing, such a unique thing that's not going to change hands a bunch of times. We don't have a bunch of data points on this to know, what's worth more. I think, this is going to go into somebody's collection and stay there most likely. So I think it would be up to them. But personally, if it was me, if I owned this, I think I would rather have this page separated and so that I can read the back page as well. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. Maybe it is cooler to own the complete third wrap because you can always read the story somewhere else. So I think it just depends on the final owner. Why do I think this is one of the most important pages? Well, it's the first time that we see Captain America in his full Captain America form. It's the first time he's called by name. It's the origin story of how he became who he is. I mean, how can you argue that there's a more important page than this? I don't know. Maybe there is, but it's definitely just an incredibly cool piece of comic book history. All right, so here we are in GPA, and here we can see the CGC 9.4 white pages just sold for $3,120,000. And here's the actual sale on Heritage and the actual copy. Just so incredibly awesome to see this book in this condition. So incredibly rare. And if we look at the census to see how rare it is, there's only 2 9.4s, and then there's actually a single graded 9.8 copy, which has never come up for sale in history. So imagine what that price is going to do if the 9.8 does come up for sale. I think it could easily do $10 million and set a new record for the most expensive comic book in history. I mean, it's a 9.8 of one of the most important comics in the world. There's only one. I mean, it would be an absolute miracle if another one comes to light at this point. So it's likely going to stay the top graded example, towering over 9.4. So this book just has a ton of future potential. I mean, people are starting to realize the magnitude of the importance of these super mega grail comics. Investment companies and firms are coming together to buy these and invest in these. So, I am a firm believer in the strength of the grail market and the strength of these investments. But look at these dates as far as how often it comes up for sale. 2010, 2013, 2004, 2006. I mean, you can count on one hand how many sales have happened in the last 2 years. It just never comes up for sale. Which just drives that supply and demand even higher. And so here an 8.5 sold for $384,000 in January of 2021, which by today's standards is an absolute bargain, because down here a 7.0 sold this year for $339,000, almost the same price as the 8.5. So you can see the trajectory that these books are on, especially in these higher grades. And as far as the rarity, I mean, every single grade is a single digit except for the 7.0. The 7.0 has 11 copies. There's only 181 total copies in the world, but only 88 of those are blue labels. Most of them are restored or qualified. To find a complete unrestored copy is just incredibly rare. And if we look down here at more reasonable price ranges, the last time a 1.0 sold was in September of 2021 for $70,000. And even a 0.5 incomplete sold for $40,000, and that was over 2 years ago. As these prices get more and more out of reach for the majority of collectors, people are going to turn to these single pages as a consolation to just at least be able to own a piece of this comic book history. Here you can see a single page, the 10th page only, sold for $1,850. And here is the actual copy that I now own, the last sale, the only sale, for $3,750, and it is the third wrap only. And so one of the interesting things is looking here on the GPA record, there's not a whole lot of wraps. Usually it's just one single page. Which page it is obviously is super important. Like this 31st page, if this is a back page from one of the backup stories that has nothing to do with Captain America, I can see why $150 is a reasonable price. Or if it's just a page that is just an ad page, you know, it's not going to be worth that much. But to have an important page, and arguably one of the most important pages, now we're talking about something that's actually desirable by a lot of people. And so why don't I just keep this in the personal collection? And you know what? I might actually talk myself into keeping this by the time this video is over, because I'm not sure that I will ever get closer to owning a complete copy of Captain America Comics #1. This might be as close as I'll ever get to actually owning it. I do think that there is potential, you know, value increase potential for this page. I'm a little hesitant because I'm not sure that it would display that well up on the wall, you know, just a single page. I don't have any other just single pages. I am actually totally on the fence about this. I think what I'll do is I'm going to list it on my website for the same price that the person who sold this to me paid, $3,750. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, I am totally fine with keeping it. And I think we'll go from there. Maybe another opportunity will come down the road where I can get, I mean, a 0.5 incomplete sold 2 years ago for 40 grand. If a 0.5 incomplete is now at 40 grand, I mean, that's the entry level. That's the entry level now for this book is $40,000 for a 0.5 incomplete. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to own Captain America Comics #1. We'll see. Who knows what the future will hold. But thank you for joining me and taking a look at this really, really cool piece of comic book history. Leave a note in the comments. What do you guys think about owning a single page? Do you think there's any future to it for these monster grails, as they're like the only chance that the regular collector will have to own a piece of those comic books? Thank you as always for sticking with me to the end. Don't forget the Bry Box of Mystery first edition is available now over at brycecomics.com. Thank you as always for sticking with me to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bry's Comics.